Before we enter to the Chiang Mai, maybe the last question.
Yes.
Is the bike, is riding a bike help you become a better investor? Is you get a better return if you're a biker?
I don't think so.
No, you don't.
I don't think that it has any influence on your investment decision.
I see.
But I believe people who ride a motorcycle, on the motorcycle, in general, people have to concentrate. So if you drive a car, you can look at the right side and left side. Are there some nice girls around and so forth? On a motorcycle, you have to concentrate on the road, especially in Thailand.
Yes, I can understand that.
Especially in Thailand.
True.
And so I think it's a good exercise. On the one hand, it's relaxing because you have the wind and the feel of speed. But on the other hand, for the moment that you're on your motorcycle, you have to concentrate. And normally on a motorcycle, you don't fall asleep. Can happen, but normally not. And in investments, when I look at the successful investors in the world, most of them do not ride motorcycles.
Oh, I see.
Most of them.
So something's wrong with you, that's what you say?
No, it's not wrong. I'm just saying there's no correlation to say that, oh, motorcycle riders are better investors or investors are better motorcycle riders.
Okay.
You understand? Valentino Rossi, I don't know whether he makes any investments at all or not.
Yes.
But the fact that he's a good or was a good motorcycle driver doesn't make him necessarily a good investor.
That's true.
It's like, tennis players, some became good investors, and Boris Becker, he went to jail because he went bankrupt. So I don't think there's a close correlation.
Okay.
Our friends, they were very, very successful ski racers. They never made much money because they had no promotional skills. Whereas someone like Bodie Miller, he had very good promotional skills, and he was a good skier with a very special style. So I wouldn't say, oh, motorcycle driving has helped me in my investments. But motorcycle driving requires some courage. When you're on a road and you're overtaking someone and someone else is coming towards you, you have to choose, do I brake or accelerate?
Okay.
Braking sometimes is more dangerous than to accelerate.
Yes, I can understand.
So you have to take decisions sometimes very quickly.
And in that sense, it's kind of related with the investor.
Yes, but I think you have to decide when you invest. I am an investor or a trader. If you're an investor, if I decide I want to buy, say, in Thailand, I don't know, Simon Commercial Bank or Simon Cement or whatever, do I buy it as an investor for the next 5 years because I think the business is turning up and the outlook is improving? Or do I buy it right now because I think in the afternoon the stock will go up and then I sell it? And if it doesn't go up, I also sell it, but with a loss. So the two, being a trader and being an investor, is two quite different things.
Okay.
And as an investor, say if I sit here and say, well, I think the Thai market will go up and I want to be in the market for the next 5 years for whatever reasons. Whether I buy Siam Cement or Siam Commercial Bank or Bangkok Bank or Advanced Telecom and so forth, today or tomorrow or in 3 days is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Given a 5 years period.
Yes, as an
you
investor,
understand?
yes.
But as a trader, it may matter. Do I buy right now or in 10 minutes? Not so much with shares, but if you look at something that is very volatile, like the price of oil or the price of Bitcoin. Vehicles that have maybe a move sometimes 5-10% in one day. So whether you buy now or in an hour may make a lot of difference.
Okay, I can understand that. And you have mentioned lots of people, a few people that is come visit and like Chiang Mai. And what do you think about Chiang Mai as you see lots of city around the world too?
Well, you know, I lived in Hong Kong for almost 30 years. So I had a choice. I could have gone to the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia, Singapore, or stayed in Hong Kong or gone to China. I think when I came here, I was over 50 years old already.
I see.
Had I been 30 years old and not married, I would have gone to Shanghai in China.
Okay.
But at 50, I was close to 55 then. I thought, I want to live one day in a house with a garden and enough space, and not in a small shoebox like you live in Hong Kong. Hong Kong apartments are not very large. You don't have gardens, you don't have dogs and so forth.
Yes, it's a small space. You have to live in a small space.
Yes. And so I had bought land already in 1981 in Sangkapeng.
Sangkapeng, yes.
Yes, about 30 rice.
30 right.
But I told my wife, if ever there's a property on the river that becomes available, I want to buy a property on the river. But it has to be in the center of Chiang Mai, not outside. Because I don't want to drive too long distances when I'm drunk. At night, when I go home drunk at night. So it has to be in the center. So then the crisis happened in 97, 98 and everything collapsed. And the owner of that house over there, the wooden house, the Thai house, he was repossessed by a bank. And the bank was selling the property. That one and this land here, there was no house here. So I bought it.
I see.
And then 3 years ago I bought that land over there because the neighbor was living in America and wanted to sell.
Okay, so that's how it starts. You want a big space.
Yes.
Yes, by the way.
You know, if the Americans start World War III in Ukraine,
yes.
then we all need to be farmers, rice farmers, and get our own food.
Yes.
We can get some goats and cows.
Yes. And Chiang Mai, as you see, is when you see lots of Thai people think that, hey, you are Switzerland. You live in Switzerland in the first world. Everything is perfect. Your health, your income, your government is clear, transparency. And why Chiang Mai? Switzerland is also a very nice environment.
Sure.
Yes, they use, from what I heard, is electric train for more than 100 years already.
Yes, sure.
Yes.
More than 100 years.
Yes. So what is Thai people don't see that you see?
You know, there's many aspects are stereotype. For instance, yes, we are first world, not only in Switzerland, but in Europe in general, or in America. But if you look at how people live, say someone here, he earns, say 9,000, 10,000 baht a month, which is kind of the minimum salary. And he stays with his family. And everybody earns 5,000, 10,000 a month. These are not rich people, but together they can live quite well. They don't live in luxury. They can't travel much, but they can have a small motorcycle. My gardener, he has a small motorcycle. My employee, the lady who cleans the house and stays with us, she has a small car. She bought the car. I always say, as long as I'm doing well, and as long as I have money, why should I not pay my employees well? You know, so I may pay a bit too much, but both my employees are with me for 20 years.
Okay.
And I don't treat them like employees, I treat them like I would talk to you, you understand? Normal relationship. I don't tell them you have to be here at 8 and so forth. Except when I have to go to the airport, I say you have to be here at 7 and so. But in general, I would say people here, even if they have low salaries, they don't starve. Because there's a lot of food in Chiang Mai. In Switzerland, if you earn less than, say, 100,000 baht a month, even at 150,000 baht a month, you don't live well.
I see.
You don't live well. You live okay. As you say, you have hospitals and your children can go to school and so forth. But at the end of the month, you have no money because the cost of living is very high.
I see. But
if I go here and I have Thai food and I buy the food on the street, say I could buy for 150 baht food or 200 baht. In Switzerland, the same quantity of food would cost you 10 times more.
10 times more?
Yes.
But
I have many Thai ladies that go to Switzerland, they eat in a Thai restaurant in Switzerland, they say it's crazy, the price. All of them, like even my wife.
I see. But the minimum wage there is also a lot higher.
Much higher.
Yes.
But the rents for the apartments are high, the house prices are very high, and so forth. So, yep. And then, so people think, oh, everything is fine in Europe. We have modern day poverty. People live just kind of a minimum lifestyle.
Okay.
Not much. And transportation is expensive. Yeah, the trains are wonderful, but it's also expensive.
Oh, I see.
And then there's another thing. People think that in democracies we have freedom.
Yes.
But this is simply not the case. Now, never in history has any government ever closed down your shop or your business because of COVID. You understand?
Yes.
Now, what has happened, the government comes in and says, oh, all the shops have to close down. You have to do salon, close down. Massage, close down. Bar, close down. Restaurant. You know how many people have gone bankrupt? But this has happened because of democracies.
I see.
So don't ever think that democracy brings freedom. And you say, oh, you have a country is no corruption. You'd be surprised how much corruption there is in the world in the Western countries.
Oh, you mean in Europe?
Europe and especially the US.
Okay.
Especially the US. How did Obama and the Clintons and the Bush families become so rich? All corruption.
So what you think is the best democracy or dictatorship or the hybrid?
I don't know what is the best, because maybe for some people the best is a monarchy.
I see.
Or like Singapore, we had a dictator, Lee Kuan Yew, but he was a nice dictator.
I see.
Not perfect, but he inherited Singapore when it was very poor, and he made it to the richest country in the world, essentially. You know, when you look at standard of living, education, health care, freedom.
And people also have lots of saving money. Singaporean
Well,
people.
the rich, yes. Unfortunately, throughout history, power has always shifted to a small group of people, the elite.
I see. No matter what kind of...
No matter.
No matter.
In aristocracies, in theocracies, you know, like the church institution, that was a theocracy, or Egypt was a theocracy. Religious people were leading the country. Everywhere, at the end, the empire collapses because of corruption and because of greed. The Mongolians was a very organized society initially, but then the empire was so big, then they start to fight with each other, it collapses. The Ottoman, same, the Turks, same.
So what you mean is the people, not the system.
I think the worst for a country is to become very rich. Yes, because then people become complacent, and you know, they become or they adapt to the wealth of their countries, and they start to talk about LGBT bullshit and that nonsense and cancel culture and so forth, which doesn't make any sense. The most important is that people have jobs, and jobs they kind of enjoy doing, and that they earn enough to satisfy their needs. Now, in a society, when they become richer, they always have higher and higher needs. You understand?
Yes.
They want a bigger car, they want a bigger house,
yes.
They want to show it off to their neighbors and relatives and so forth. So I don't know. I think it's very much a question of morals, that you have needs that you need to fulfill, like you want to eat and you want to drink, like I do, and smoke or whatever, but you don't become obsessed by possessions. I mean, I'm fortunate that I have this house and the land, and that I'm free. But you have to appreciate that, and you know, it's not only because of you, but because God, or the teachings of Buddha, or your philosophy, gave you the strength and the courage to do well in life. Okay. So it's like a bonus.
So what you're talking about is happy is not about living in a rich country that have everything. That is maybe not the case. Democracy is also not the case.
Well, I think democracies have failed.
I see, but if you say like this, then the people that encourage military to be a prime minister, maybe not about Thailand. We're not talking about Thailand.
Well, but to be fair, let's look at the last 2 years. Lockdowns in Europe and in the US and so forth. We had also some lockdowns here in Chiang Mai, and they closed some bars, but some restaurants were always open. And I could go out of my house and have a smoke and go back into the house. I could walk around Chiang Mai, no problem. In the US, in the UK, democracy, there were people, they owned the house. They have a small garden. They went outside the house to have a smoke. The neighbors call the government, the police comes and arrests them.
Oh.
That is democracy.
I see.
Because democracies, they will end up all in socialism.
Okay.
This is the worst system. So I have very mixed feelings. You know, I'm not saying that there are other systems that are much better than democracy, but I'm suggesting that to think, oh, we are a democracy, we're free, it's complete bullshit. It doesn't work that way.
And then
Do you think that Obama, Trump, or now Biden cares about ordinary people?
doesn't
They
look that way.
only care to get their votes.
That's true.
So instead of like in Thailand, before the politicians send envelopes with money and buy votes, there you give people, say, an allowance. This is not the system. It's going to collapse. So if you ask me why I'm in Thailand, I feel freer in Thailand than, say, in Switzerland. I have no vote here. I'm a foreigner, but I have more freedom here than in Switzerland.
Oh, that is very surprised to hear. That will surprise lots of people.
Yes, I hope so. But they have to wake up to the fact that not everything is wonderful in our Western democracies.
I see.
We have Boris Johnson in the UK. He's very unpopular. People don't like him. We have Macron in France. He's the minister. He was just re-elected.
Yes.
People don't like him. But you understand, the retirees, they say, as long as we have Macron, he will pay us our pensions.
Ah,
Whereas with the socialists and the others, they're not so sure. Le Pen, she had more votes of people below 50 than Macron, below the age of 50. But Macron had the votes of the elderly generation.
looks like same in Thailand.
So, you know, we have to distinguish. I think if I look at American democracy, it's very corrupt at the moment. Very.
Okay, that's very surprised to hear. And sounds like the quality life of the, let's compare minimum wage to minimum wage. That sounds like here is better in your opinion.
Well, for my sense is that, I mean, they showed recently a movie on TV in Switzerland because a lot of Germans came to Switzerland because we're kind of an associate member of EU. Now they went back. So they asked these families, why are you going back? They said, Switzerland is unfriendly.
Ah, I see.
A long time ago, before I got married, I had a girlfriend. She had been in Switzerland because she was a model. She had been in the, say, upper class Swiss. She said, Switzerland is the most beautiful country in the world, and God punished them by giving them jealous people, envious people, never happy, always.
I see.
This is life.
This is life, yes.
People always think, oh, this country is better than mine and so forth. I don't think so.
Okay, so you choose the right place.
For me, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yes. Look, nothing in life is perfect.
Yes.
The only thing that you can do is have a house, have a motorcycle. I should be very happy with it and grateful that I have what I have. Not I want more. I don't need more. I'm grateful with what I have.
Okay. Yes, I can understand that.
So this is a mental attitude. But of course, it's easier to say that if you have something. If you're very poor, of course you want to have more. You know, if you're really struggling.
Yes, if you feel as though you don't have enough.
Yes, that I can understand.
Yes, but let's say that if you don't have enough, because this is also talking a lot in Thailand. The student is just graduated, and they see that hey, there's with the opportunity here is a lot less than in Europe or in Australia or in USA. I have not enough today to live the life as I want.
Look, in Europe and in America, a lot of students They study philosophy or English or anthropology or history or geography or whatnot, social sciences. Most of them, they study socialism. They're all socialists. What do they expect? You can't use them. They're useless. I always tell young people, if I were again 20 years old, I wouldn't go and study. I would become an electrician, a carpenter, but I would become the best electrician. For that, in Europe, you have to study with an electrician for 5 years, an apprentice. When I look at the workers here, they're not very high quality, period. You will never see in Thailand a building built as high quality as in Germany, Switzerland, and the US or Japan. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
Because the workers don't have the same quality.
I see.
But of course in Europe, the hour of work, an electrician, he earns in an hour as much as a Thai electrician in a week. Difference in
Huge
salary.
difference.
But he comes with machines, you know, that are specialized machines. I'm not saying everything is perfect because we have good electricians and bad electricians, but it's very expensive, but the quality is good. And here, I'm always afraid of the wiring.
Okay.
You look out there, the wires that are on the telephone posts and electricity. It's crazy.
I can understand that. Yes. Okay, I'm going to take a break 5 minutes and change the interview to my son.
Okay.
He is a new investor. He have prepared. He is just enter university.
Okay.
And he have a question in the investing as an amateur.
Yes,
A
it's
new.
okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yes, how long is that?
What you want? You feel to
Say 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay. Okay.